Good afternoon, beer buffs, and today I'm reviewing Brains Dark from Brains Brewery, so let us get a pour on. Macas, have you got a nice Welsh beer for me, Macas? It's been a while, but... Oh yes, I have a Welsh beer for you. Back from my hollybobs, my brother brought me this, all the way from Welsh Wales, and I'm probably sounding a little bit more Welshy because I've been with my Welsh family, finally. So anyway, let's get pour on. One of my favourite breweries, folks. I have missed the homeland, but I'm having a nice pour for you today. So I do have a few Welsh beers my brother bought, so I've got one to another one to review for you next time. So it's a proper, sorry about the wind, we've had a tropical storms coming through in Texas. So it's a little bit windy, it's been a little bit rainy, so I might be shouting a little. But anyway, this is described, I always thought of more of a bitter, but it's I've had it before, but I'm going to do a proper review for you today. It's a Brains Dark, which is a dark mild, which basically means it's a dark coloured ale with a malty palate. So there you go. I am excited, very old brewery Brains, so I'm excited to share this with you. And honestly, cheers Joe, thanks for picking me this up. We did have a nice bitter that we shared with Thirsty Pups Brewing last week that he brought over as well. So look at that, that's a proper pint in it, and that's in a proper pint glass. So cheers to that. It is, what's the percentage? 4.1%, folks. Yes, yahi da to that. 4.1%. Oh, lovely jubbly. Deliciously different Dragon Brewery Cardiff Brains. The Dragon of Wales. I'm going on one here, and I. Anyway, let's have a taste. Oh, that is nice. That is sharp, that is malty. That is bitter. Oh, look at that. You could mistake that for a port, I would say. And it has that feel to it. It really does. You know, porters are lighter than stouts. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's lovely. It's taking me home, that is. Lovely jubbly. I said that once, didn't I? Anyway, yeah. So, I'm going to go into the nitty gritty because I got a little bit to talk about. But a true classic Brains Dark has been brewed continuously since the 1920s. There's some history for you. That shows how old this beer is. It's still winning awards today. Chocolate malts help create this treacle-coloured yet easy drinking ale with a distinctive creamy head. And you could see that. It's dropped down a bit, but when I poured it, you could see the rich creamy head to it. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, come on. And Wales are playing this weekend. Come on, boys. Against the old enemy, South Africa. So let's hope they do us proud. We've been a little bit hit and miss of recent years, but I'm hoping for a result this Saturday. I'll be up at 8 o'clock watching, if I can find it. Anyway, Brains Brewery, Cardiff, Wales. Founded in 1882, would you believe, by Samuel Arthur Brain. And actually, he was a mayor of Cardiff for a time, for a spell. But he was actually born in Bristol, but to Welsh parents. And Brains Brewery, at its height, going back a little bit, they controlled 250 pubs in South Wales. Now, I'll tell you something, I've stayed in one of their pubs. It was in Monmouth. It was with my late great uncle David and my auntie Nicola, who was just over actually. But yeah, we booked into a Brains pub, fantastic. actually one of the best places I've stayed. Oldie worldy, nice proper rooms, old school rooms, big beds, and good beer and good food. They don't have as many pubs as they used to, but you know, they're still making fine beers. But that was a great little pub. That was in Monmouth. So if you ever get a chance, go to Monmouth. One of my little favourite haunts when I'm back home in Britain. Some fantastic pubs, some nice restaurants, and a fine high street. So check it out. Have a look at Monmouth. Yeah, so anyway, in the year 2000, they actually moved. They moved the brewery to the south of the Cardiff Central Railway Station, if you know Cardiff. So it's a little bit more south than that. They used to be in the city centre, and one of my earliest memories was going to Cardiff. Sorry, the winds. Was going to Cardiff, and actually you could smell the brewery through the city. You know, you get off the bus or the train and walk through Cardiff shopping when we were kids, and all you could smell through the city, well, certain times of day I would say, was the malty scent of the brewery itself. It was wonderful. It filled Cardiff. It's a very, very fond and very strong memory for me. So that's Brains Brewery for you. Fantastic brewery. So yeah, it's a bit of history. As for this, I mean, it just gets better with every taste. I always say that with beers, you know, after a few more sips you really start to appreciate it. Sometimes I think that initial taste of a beer is like, oh, it's pretty good, but then it rises after that, depending on the beer obviously. But a good beer will just keep on getting better. And this is good. I think almost this would be nicer, a little bit warmed up, but you know, it's beautiful. Anyway, a couple of beers that these guys do, extra ones, and I've had these. Obviously, I'm Welsh. The Reverend James Original Bitter. Fantastic. If you love a bitter, honestly, I think that's one of the benchmarks for me for bitters. Really wonderful. Honestly, I wish I had one of those right now. They do their SA bitter as well. That's kind of their signature bitter, and that's really good as well. Personally, I prefer the Reverend James. They do an IPA, and this is a good IPA. It's called Barry Island IPA. And Welshies, you know what I'm talking about, Barry Island. Brits, you know what I'm talking about, Barry Island. Gavin and Stacey, that's all I'm saying. But I lived in Barry Island for a little while, so it's yeah, it's a good IPA though. It is, and you can find it quite readily these days. So check that one out if you can. And their SA Gold, which is another good beer. It's a blonde gold ale. So if you fancy one of those on a summer's day, go and have one down the pub. If you're in Wales, go down to the coast and have one. You know, down Ogmore by Sea or Porthcawl or somewhere like that. But yeah, anyway, look at my beer cap. I'm keeping that one, the Welsh Dragon. Braving Fire. He's not on that cap. Oh no, he is. Sorry, he's breathing Goldfire on that cap. Anyway, yeah, so that's Brains Dark. Lovely, fantastic beer. Just have one more sip before I rate it. It's definitely mild as well. You can see what they're talking about when they name these beers. Wonderful. It's nothing less than a solid 9 for me, the Texas Staff. It was never going to be anything less than that. Wonderful. A taste of home for me. Like I've said, I've had a taste of the family coming over this past couple of weeks, which was wonderful. But I do miss going back there to the homeland, to the hills of Wales, where everybody sings. No, they don't. Most people sing down the pub. But yeah, it's, you know, a little taste of home for me, so chalk that up. And yeah, like I say, I'll have another little beer for you from Wales next week. Different brewery, something new for me, so it'll be a little bit different. So we'll see where that goes. But until then, cheers for now. Yachi da. Ta-ra.
And we were singing hymns and arias, land of my fathers.